Wuthering Waves was a gacha game that just recently released, and a lot of people were excited about it because of the fact that for all the people who were around when COVID first was here, Genshin was a game that came out and absolutely pretty much took the world by storm. I mean, it became so big. They made so much money off of that game. I can't. It was like billions and billions of dollars. Just absolutely insane. So, first of all, be careful when playing these games because they are predatory by nature and they are trying to take your money. But if you are able to restrain yourself from not swiping every time to try and unlock everything to max refinement or whatever to have like the best, because at the end of the day, it's a PvE based game anyway. These games are pretty fun. Well, Genshin was at the beginning anyway. Now it's just been stagnating for years at this point, and there's still people trying to die on that hill that it's like the greatest game ever when it's not. But it is funny to me to see all the people talking about Wuthering Waves and how it's so bad compared to Genshin, and it's like, why? Where are you getting these statistics from for like all these people that are having all this trouble with the game? Me personally, I've had absolutely no issues at all whatsoever, and a lot of the people that I've seen have had no issues. Sure, I've seen some people have issues with the game running and low. I wouldn't even say low FPS, but like drops in FPS in certain areas. But the overall majority have not had that issue from what I've seen anyway, unless there's a poll somewhere that somebody has done that has can like break it down how many people are experiencing these issues. And even with that, the response that they've given to this has been a lot more than Genshin ever, or should I say Hoyoverse, ever gave to any of its player base for any of their games. Well, I don't want to say any of their games, but Genshin specifically, because that's the one that people are comparing with Wuthering Waves, because let's be honest, it's trying to take what Genshin did and, in my opinion, at least improve upon it. Story wise, I don't know. The story, I mean, Genshin's story as well. I mean, it's not like that great. Honkai Star Rail has a really great story. Wuthering Waves so far not so great, but the combat I find is so much better than Genshin because while I do really like the elemental system in Genshin, the perfect dodge, perfect parry, and the different intro and outro skills or whatever, what have you with the different characters, I really like that about Wuthering Waves. I feel that it's very more interactive, if you will, with the gameplay. You actually have to time stuff, and if you can get those perfect dodges off, then you really don't even need a healer. It's just one of those get good moments, if you will. But anyway, yeah, I've been really enjoying the game. But I just wanted to discuss some of the backlash that, oh my gosh, these people are just going to absolute town saying that, oh, Genshin was so much better on 1.0 compared to Wuthering Waves 1.0. Oh my gosh, why are you people saying that this game is better than Genshin? It goes on and on. I mean, one guy that I really like listening to is Tectone. I know people give him a lot of hate because Tectone bad or something like that. But he has a lot of really good points on why Genshin is just not good anymore. And I actually have a video here that he actually just released. And this entire video is just this one guy just dying on Genshin Impact's hill or try. I don't even know what he. The defense for Genshin is just through the roof. He keeps blaming Tectone for being a shill and everything, and it's like, bro, what are you talking about? The only one who's shilling is you. You keep bringing up why Genshin is so much better in literally every way. What basis? It's like, do you were you there for 1.0? You do realize that there was like hardly anything going on in the game. Like, right? Compared to what we have now, I mean, you would hope that years later, I mean, even now the game is still the same, but at least there's more to do, if you will, just because there's just been so much more content released. But 1.0 Genshin wasn't really all that great, magnificent. The story was like mediocre at best. And so when people are trying to relate the Genshin story to Wuthering Waves story, it's like, what are we even comparing here? I mean, both stories are just not great. So why are you saying Genshin's story is better than Wuthering? I don't know. It's a weird dynamic that's going on, but there's so many people who are just trying to defend Genshin, and it's like, bro, at some point you guys just gotta let that game go, man. I know you spent a lot of money on that game, but hey, sometimes we're wrong. I mean, even myself, I recently released a video where I was like, I don't really like how I presented myself. I still kind of mostly agree with what I said, but I should have backed stuff up and things like that. So I'll take the L on that one, 100%. It's okay to be wrong. I mean, that's how in the world do we learn anything unless we admit that we're wrong and then try and move forward past it? Like, come on, guys. just just admit that Genshin is just not it, guys. It's been 4 years and they still don't have loadouts. And that's been a thing since, I don't know, 2010 with any game ever. Like, come on, guys. It's not. This isn't. It's just not. It's not worth it. Hoyoverse doesn't even back you up. And that's the other thing, too. I was not even thinking about that. The fact that with the technical issues that only a small amount of people are having, I would say, on the whole, it's been a small number of people. They are giving literally everybody free summons, 10 free summons. Well, and I think actually, wait, was it 10 or? Oh, wait, no. It was 10 for the thank you, and it was 10 for the maintenance patch that they had to do. Yeah. 10 free summons. Whereas in Genshin, we got 100 primos, which was not even one summon. Or maybe 480 primos, which is the currency they use in that game, which was 3 summons. So already there, you can see just how much more grace they're giving. And on top of that, they're giving a free 5-star selector, which just bypasses the whole Gamba portion of the game with you trying to pick a character and then roll and roll and roll until you get it. Now you just get to choose a free 5-star at the very start of the game for them apologizing for what's been going on and them trying to improve upon it. Like, how are you even trying to compare the two? The amount of feedback that, what is it? Kuro Games, sorry, it took me a while to think about, has released, or I should say the amount of feedback that Kuro Games has received and given their feedback on in response to has been night and day difference compared to Genshin. Genshin, they did like absolutely nothing. I mean, the only thing they really did to change was the Zhongli buff back in the day, if anybody even still remembers that. And that was like just because everybody was just throwing a temper tantrum on the internet about how bad he was. And that is the only time they've really changed anything. I mean, sure, they've had like patches for improvements in gameplay and whatnot, but I mean, let's be real. All of their dev talks and all the questions they have that people ask, nobody asked those questions. Like one of them had to do with like planting and stuff, and man, what was that thing called that they have in Genshin? I'm trying to remember. It's like a farm thing that you could have. It was like questions on that. I'm like, who's asking about that? People are asking for like an end game in that game. That's another thing too. 4.5 years later, still no end game in Genshin. Which is so funny because Honkai Star Rail, which is another game that Hoyoverse did, has a better end game and it's been out for a year. Oh my gosh. To everybody out there who is trying to die on that Genshin hill, please, I beg you, just step back for a second and think about why it's not worth it. It's just really not worth it. Wuthering Waves, I'm not saying it's perfect. It's definitely not. The story is subpar. I mean, it's a gacha game. I'm hoping it becomes better and better. I'll give it a little bit of slack. It is free to play for all intents and purposes, even though it is a gacha game. The character design, I think the character designs are pretty good. The voice acting has been, people are kind of complaining about it. I think they're more so complaining about the choice of words that they have in it as opposed to like the actual voice acting. Because I think the voice actors are doing pretty well. It's more so the use and choice of words in dialogue that are kind of like doesn't seem organic, if you will. It just kind of seems just placed there to be there type deal. It's like, nah, I don't really like that. The music I thought was pretty good. But the main draw of this game is the combat and the bosses. It's just fun. It's just fun. I've been enjoying the combat a lot more than I have Genshin, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Wuthering Waves does to continue to improve upon what they're doing. And I hope they do, because then we're just going to get even more Genshin fanboys to come and try and debunk why Wuthering Waves is the worst game that's ever been made. It's just funny to see, honestly, the amount of backlash that people like Tectone and other bigger creators receive when they play these games. Like, it's pretty good. And it's like, well, it's not as good as Genshin. It's like, why? You're the one bringing up Genshin, first of all. And if you want to bring up Genshin, then I'll bring up all the points why it is better than Genshin. Well, at least all the points that I find comparable anyway. I mean, if you want to say the story, sure. Genshin's been out for 4 years, so yeah, I guess the story would be a little more cohesive, if you will. But even that, it's like the story has been trying to find your brother and you still haven't found him, brother or sister, because you can choose either or. In 4 years, I don't know, man. It's just such a weak argument. All the points that they bring up for Genshin, it's just they're so weak. It's like if they could have like a detailed list and an explanation of why these different things are the way they are, why actually prove why Genshin is better in some way, then we could have a conversation. But then you got guys in this video that Tectone has here that just like, you're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous. It's like, first of all, not even sure you know what that word means. Second of all the points that you're bringing up, he combats and then he moves on to a different topic because he knows he lost. And that's kind of how the Genshin community and a whole works. And it's why it's so sad to see, because it's really the community that kind of ruins it for everybody. And that's why it's not even just Genshin, it's a lot of other games too, that people are just like hardcore fans and they just cannot accept when their game is wrong and bad and just not adequate for what it should be today. Honestly, in 2024, it should be a lot more than it is. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments about the whole Wuthering Waves and Genshin drama and people just trying to, I don't even know, prove the point that Genshin is somehow better without providing any evidence why. I don't know. I don't know. Please let me know why I'm wrong. That's all I'm asking. Just let me know why I'm wrong so I can at least hopefully have a debate and get something more out of it than just yelling at people saying they're wrong. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like, and I hope to see you guys around. Peace!